Hey, this is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are listening to Airlim.
Hey Rangers, today we're looking at the Power Sword, and this is a slightly different review because I don't have my camera, but we're going to be looking at the Power Sword, and oh my god, is this one of the biggest legacy items ever. This is possibly one of the biggest legacy items that we've had to date. The packaging looks amazing when we have a look at the Red Ranger helmet, as well as the actual detail on the sword. When we have a closer look here, we have the Mighty Morphing logo. Then we have Bandai. As I've mentioned, the Red Ranger, which looks absolutely cool. I kind of wish the lightning was a little bit different or a little bit bigger, or rather than just lines. But as we move down the box, it says actual size, which I don't think it is, but we'll go with it. And then we obviously have the hilt, and obviously this looks amazing. And it says Power Sword. And then here, it says die-cast parts, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. When I flip the box on the other side, all we see is just the Power Sword. Again, die-cast metal parts of the logo, and then we see the actual sword itself. I kind of really wish that we still had the Red Ranger on this side because it looks kind of cool rather than just a normal one. Now, if you want to pause the video, you can do. This basically just says the story of Power Rangers with the logo. And then on the other side of the box, it says the Red Ranger Jason. Pause if you want to read it. Bottom here, it just has a picture of Jason, which I kind of think it should have been a lot bigger, but it's still quite cool. This is the Power Sword in the actual box itself. Now, one thing that I will point out, this part here comes apart, so you need to kind of slot it in like an egg shape because I had a lot of trouble putting the Power Sword back when I was looking at it. So you see the actual hilt here, and then we see the handle. And here is the Power Sword. This has got to be one of the most beautiful legacy items that I've seen in a very long time. It's also, as I said, one of the biggest. And I have to admit, I have been waiting for this since I've seen it at Power MorphCon, where I saw it in that display case, because dear God, this is just absolutely fantastic. So let's have a look at one or two of the features. I really like this pinstriping detail here on the actual, like, the other kind of part at the bottom. It looks absolutely fantastic. I really just think it stands out. The gold part here, as well as the black. The black is kind of like a textured feeling, which I really like. But the gold really kind of stands out. Now, there's no kind of bleeding over, so they've painted it really, really well. Even when you look at the buttons, that they're all the same, and it's not just kind of like a smooth texture, which at first I thought it would just be with just gold, but I really like what it feels like. The main thing that you'll be drawn to is here. This is just the hilt. The actual coin is die-cast. When we actually look at the Tyrannosaurus coin, you can see that even here, they've actually left it kind of like rugged, very similar to the texture here, but also around about here too, it's the same, and it really like kind of stands out. It isn't just smooth plastic, which I thought it would be. You've got the gold that kind of goes all the way along here, and I have noticed that there have been some like kind of weird painting things here, so I kind of really wish that it kind of overflowed a little bit, but you know, it's okay for what it is. Same on this side, it looks absolutely fine. And these like little green orbs here, they're also like kind of die cast, which I kind of think it's really cool. I would have liked more die cast, like maybe this could have all been done, or even this, but this is all plastic. Now, one thing I have noticed here is that the blade is completely hollow plastic, very similar to what you would get with like one of those like kind of plastic swords. But really here, I really like, but I love this detail just along here. Like even if you get kind of close in, you can tell just there on all of this, as it is just not this like certain part, it's exactly the same as here and here, and it has like an extra texture which really kind of makes it stand out. Now when you do this, it is very kind of like nothing there. You can squeeze down just there, but there is a rod that goes from I think here all the way to the end of the sword, and it's very like if you try and put your try and flatten it, you can't do. It's a lot thicker here than it is up here, but it's really cool and it keeps it in place so you won't lose it or it won't like kind of de-bend. So if it does take a hit on the side, you're absolutely fine, but here, you know, you've obviously got the rod inside, which looks absolutely and feels absolutely amazing. On the other side, we have like the kind of battery information that they've kind of imprinted, including you also have a number. So I don't know if yours is exactly the same as mine, or if it's completely different, but everything is exactly the same. The only difference you see here is that the sound comes out here, and it kind of looks a little bit like the Gold Ranger symbol for some strange reason, just a little bit, but it's exactly the same when you have the die-cast metal, and everything just is pretty much the same item. With these 3 buttons, they all make different sounds, and they kind of cycle through a little bit, but they don't have many sounds. As you can see, there's not a lot there. When you hold these 2 buttons in though, it plays the sound. That's quite cool. When you hold this one down though, it feels like a power-up, like probably Legends of Zelda is the best way that I can actually describe that, but it sounds really, really cool. Power Sword is one of the best items that I've seen in a long time, and it's one of the nicest looking as well. Now, I wanted to first of all say that I haven't got my proper camera, and so the sound might be off as well, so I apologize for that. I really wanted to show what this was like, so you guys can make your mind up. It's just been released. I got mine from A1 Toys. Now, the price is roughly £150 or £149.99. Is it worth it? Yes. This is an item that if you're a collector, I would wholeheartedly, and I mean wholeheartedly, add to your collection, mainly because it's a one of a kind. Now, I know we've had the Dragon Dagger, we've had the Blade Blaster, but this is something that's not really been done before, and I have to say, this is amazing. I never owned the original one back in the day, and this is something that I have been waiting for since Power Morphicon, where I saw it in the display case. I really love the attention to detail that they've put on there, from the die-cast parts to the texture of the handle. And originally, I did think that it would be a lot harder to kind of like hold. I thought the handle would be like thicker, but it's actually a great size. So Rangers, your question of the day is, what do you think about this? Would you be getting it? Would you not? What do you think of the sword itself? And what legacy item would you like to see next that hasn't been premiered at San Diego Comic-Con or anywhere else? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.